Good evening and welcome to this interesting episode of Women Rise Up. My name is Yedidia Nyakahangura, your host, and this show is brought to you by the Embassy of Sweden in Uganda and UN Women. Tonight, we want to look at how we can increase the numbers of women in our legislative assemblies, how we can improve on how we involve women in decision making, taking key decisions that matter for our communities. We must bring women on board. How do we do that? We'll discuss that with the Honorable Angelina Osege, but that will be after this short skit.
Nah, belok dengan lah.
Bila bang wang dah ke
Nah, nah, kuat dok.
Ini punya lah empat pan mama pedang wajib. Nah, mana ini padang.
Oh, foi ini.
Kar kamera.
Man ko dong. Ngadi tim.
Cái cô mà nào. Người ini ni. Kumberi chani dong. Kita mau buat tiket ini. Maka mau nawai koram ni. Welba ni dong. Ono toram macam aku dong.
Won ko man tim kicira. Mana ka yang put pa neno daru. Daga me biru kalaro loki kimcho. Lokyo.
Man no wala bon tele legado.
Man tiabo nying paju.
Pa wajibu. Mana yam iga kengeng waka ini lokiro kengeng waka. Pa na wa daga mo ken ka o ka chaka kit ini. Ma ini kin ma tiabo nying gang. Tiabo nying kaka. Daga me bera. Cara katil tuare, jangan puja, kau bela lawan kan, lawan tata.
Keldang.
Wajib ini mon bene, mako leba, tilok mukene mon berti ya, kuero kita ni.
Icok mako man. Pemir ni dah miro bini ye. Melo ada, mana ka yang put potime.
Kau macam mana? Ngai hati ini mon en bene mege baba ma gen en tam gi mo ken bene duong ma bay gene duong ma pa si kon tim ki jay te kar en me ye bene mon ber ken dang wino
Won kom pa waji, mana kau ro tim me, ma ini me kita ananiang kere lo me kual me cien te keken, ma ane ko pa bi ye dah ne kiri ma cara cien.
o ya mer kon dong wati mo ko man wa yeyu kon wa wini lok ma en be loko kon bene kumberi chani kitwer ma ki kom lok kon lok mate ma bi lok
Kajinan ki bot wanyar ni. Kajinan kan yang kuda bidugu.
I'm the final man. Wait. Leave me out.
This is absolutely unacceptable. How can a woman come to that is a bidding in the men's affair? Paye wakache. Do go. Do go. Aku ada. Murah Iyo. Dok ada. Acara winyu lok ke bon mo jeni cha chwa ko dok. Ko mi ukare. Kinya wani ko mi tamme ki ko ma mer lok no nen tala do rabe nyon kamara.
Ampe da na wuju. A wuju anya da minute wer. Kong dey lok.
Very important information.
Thank you. Kumas.
I have to hear from her.
Afoy matek da dojo. Nung nge tini anpa beri charan pika. Luak mua kama duong. Abere kampala ka kwan ma beri dakta ko beri dakta. Chidong ma ana duguni. Awun yunong lok ma beri char kain. Mon kilo tiang gitu kato. Ikar me nyual no mon gitu kato. Mon ma tiang gitu kato. Walu tiang ma tiang ma fit nyual ga nyual no gitu kato. Chidong an ki nge chan beri dakta ni. Ar tamoni ki chwa ko pa babana ma ko meleti. Atamoni atwer kon mi kon mo kiri mana na wak mon alan enu biaka utum
Anpa wajo. Inong kitiro.
Ling kong. Koi ling wa ko tiek lok eh.
Ayelo pe.
Lok kanya ko ni lok mo mapire tek ba pelar very important indeed.
Yeah, welcome to the show. My name is Yedidia Nyakahangura and our guest is Honorable Angelina Osege. She is a social worker, having worked with the World Vision. She's been a legislator for the last 10 years, representing the people of Soroti district in the Parliament of Uganda. She actually was a leader, committee leader for the Public Accounts Committee. That's 2016, 2018 there, towards 19. She has done quite a number of things. She has worked with some CSOs. She has worked in the banking sector. She's the woman we are hosting with the hope that our discussion will inspire many more young girls to become the next Angelina Osege. This is Women Rise Up. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube. My name is Yedidia Nyakahangura. Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Say hi to people.
Good evening, viewers. I'm glad to be here this evening, sharing with you the issues of women and encouraging one or two women out there.
Yes.
I want to assure you that there is a lot that women can do. What a man can do, he said a woman can do better. Yes. So please have a good watching and a good listening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing to be hosted. You have done a number of things, Honorable. To list but a few, you were a bank manager, I think, yeah, for some time. You have worked with CSOs, you have been a legislator, you have stood out for some time. How have you been able to do that amidst a patriarchal society?
Thank you once again, Didier. I was, I think, blessed because by the time I went to Makerere University, that was when this issue of affirmative action started. That is when we got the 1.5 points to join Makerere.
Yes.
But I want to say that it has come growing. In the beginning, there were some areas that were thought that were not good for women or were no-go areas for women. But I think really the brains men have, women too have them. If you can believe in yourself as a woman, and because you attend the same classes with men, there is no difference between women and men. So you can say that this I can't do, the other I cannot do, I can do. Apart from the physical strength, we have the same brains, we have the same capacities. So it has been, I won't say it was a difficult journey because I believed in myself. When I first finished Makerere, I volunteered with World Vision. Yes. And that time it was rare to see women riding motorcycles. but I was riding a motorcycle
Oh,
in
really?
Boma, yeah.
Oh.
And I was doing a community work, voluntary work, and it was very interesting. And from then I realized that actually there is a lot more that we can do. Before I joined politics, you said rightly, I worked with a bank, I worked with some NGOs. So it's been difficult. It's not been difficult in other areas, but in the area of politics is where it was really difficult.
And that's where I want us to put a very strong emphasis on. Yes.
Yeah, but in other areas, you know, when I was a manager, for example, in Pride Microfinance, there used to be a problem, an attitude from the men, from the male colleagues. They would look at you, you are the manager, but because you are a woman, there's a way they tend to look at you. But what you do is to make sure that you are above everything
But I would
else.
want to believe that wasn't a company policy there, that they should look at you like that.
No, it wasn't
Yes.
a company policy, but just a man is a man. They feel they are men, so you must treat them in a certain way. So when you seem to be doing things better than them, they will say, but how come this woman is doing things the way she's doing?
Yes, yes.
And you know, I was known to be a very tough person, and I don't believe that I'm tough. But yeah,
But rather assertive.
I think so. That is the right word.
Yes.
So it was difficult when you are at the helm and you are leading men. There is a tendency for men to try to pull you down, to amplify your weaknesses, to try to remind you that you are just a woman. But what you need to do is to be focused and to be sure of what you're doing. Make sure you are excellent at what you do. And that alone is enough to bring them down and to give you the respect that you deserve.
Now, how did you overcome these challenges? Because you never know, there could be someone in sorority there where you have been a woman MP for some time who is going through the same challenges in their positions of responsibility, not necessarily in the political offices. How did you overcome these challenges?
I think just be yourself. Be yourself. Yeah. God has created in us something. Just be what God has made you to be. And if you are in a working environment or in whatever you do, ensure that you excel. Try to seek excellence in whatever you do. That will remove any other prejudice that people may have over you as a woman. They will know that after all, you can do things and maybe even do them better. It is just believing in yourself and seeking to be the best that you can be. That is good. That is good enough.
How is affirmative action in Uganda empowering women into leadership?
Affirmative action was good. It is still good, but in the beginning, we had to break that ice to show the world that women needed an opening, and also to buy into the minds of men that what men can do, women can also do. That was an opportunity to showcase women. But now where we've reached after 20 years of affirmative action or so, it's been over 20 years of affirmative action, I think we need to address certain things. The women, for example, who have benefited from affirmative action should now show that they have built the muscle. They have attained what they need to compete with men. That's why we have been advocating for a woman being on the affirmative seat probably for 2 or 3 terms. And then after that, if they are still interested, they go on for the other general seat.
Yes.
Because then it is meant to build you. So if you are going to keep there and you are not going to change status, you are going to keep and lock off all the other women. If we are going to allow other women to come, the women who have got an opportunity must progress and leave space for other women who are upcoming. Unless we do that, it's not going to work, it's not going to help. The ones who have gotten into it will stay there until they die. So you don't give opportunity to other women. And yet, women are the largest population in this country. So we must be able to leave room for other women to come in, whether in the corporate world, whether in politics, wherever we are. Yeah.
In Uganda, we have seen women who have become legislators without necessarily coming through affirmative action, who are not district representatives, people who are not representing mainstream districts on affirmative action. Isn't it high time we repealed this and leveled the ground?
No, it's not yet, because when you look at the statistics on education, still we have a very high girl child dropout from school.
Yes.
So they may start many, but by the time they end, they reach P7 senior for those candidate classes, they are fewer than the men. And so you'll find the women who make it through to the corporate world, who make it through to politics, high position in leadership, are still few. So we still need to work on the background. We need to work on the education of girls, make sure that we sustain them in schools. And then when the numbers have grown, then we can think of revising this. Because I'm telling you, population-wise, if women are more than men, time is going to come when women are going to be in all these positions. And it will be the men who will need affirmative action.
In fact, I strongly agree. We are almost getting there. But I think let's speak from there when we come back from this commercial break, because this is an interesting one. Honorable just said, if things keep the way they are, men will need affirmative action in the near future. This is Women Rise Up. My name is Yedidia Nyakahangura. Our guest is Honorable Angelina Osege. Let's be back after this short break. Welcome back from that short commercial break. My name is Yedidia Nyakahangura and the show is Women Rise Up. In case you just joined us, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube to watch the previous episodes. We have run quite a number of episodes and we still have some more that will be coming. Our guest is Honorable Angelina Osege. She's been a woman member of parliament for Soroti district for 10 years. She has held different positions of authority, of responsibility. She's been a bank manager, she has been into banking, she has been into CSOs, she has done quite a number of things. Before we went for a break, you gave us an interesting trajectory by saying not long from now we might have to advocate for male empowerment or men empowerment. Don't you think it's very important to bring men on board when we're advocating for gender equity? For women, don't we need to bring men on board as well so that they know the policies that we have in place? The CEOs that are males, they need to be taught on the policies, implementation of the policies. Don't you think we need to bring men on board?
Interestingly, we have been doing this. Like if we are passing any legislation,
yes,
that is assumed to have a gender lens,
oh, yes.
Which is gender sensitive, we made sure we had men on board. When you look at the Association of Women Parliamentarians, we have men who are part of that association. Why? Because we know that women cannot go it alone. And if we decided to do things as women, then we are going to cause conflict between men and women. But we want harmony in the family, we want harmony in the country, we want harmony in offices. We don't want men to feel like we are competing to put them down, but we want them to realize that men and women must coexist and must play their roles as God intended it to be. So usually men are incorporated in whatever law, in whatever plan. Recently, before we ended the 10th Parliament, we passed the Sexual Offences Bill. And you will not believe it, men were the greatest supporters of this bill. And the many other laws that were passed that were gender sensitive. So it's important to have men on board so that it doesn't look like it is a competition. It only looks like something that is trying to enable men appreciate what women can do and know that women can be partners in anything that they do. Yeah.
Bring them on board in a sense that when we're advocating for the rights of women, we also advocate for the rights of men. Because I can give you an example. Recently I was talking to a head teacher who was complaining that shortly after schools had been opened, after COVID, most boys didn't return. Boys that were as young as 12, 13, they went into bricklaying, they went into hard labor, and they found it hard to be reintegrated in school because they had tested money, they had done something, whereas some girls got pregnant, but young boys also missed out. But advocacy is very strong on women and young girls, but no one is talking about the boys. Are we not putting the next generation at a risk of having strong women with very weak men?
That's why I said earlier, if we continue on the current trajectory, men will need affirmative action. Actually, I think recently the policies of Ministry of Education had begun to incorporate that.
Yes.
Because we realized that the men are drawing back.
Yes.
The men are getting intimidated. First of all, they are fewer in number. And then there is a lot that is expected
Even the life
of them.
expectancy is low for men.
Because there is too much that is put on them.
Yes,
If
yes.
they allowed women to lift off some of the burden from them, you know, that wouldn't be the case. And we still push this thinking that a man is a man. We need to lift off some of the burdens from men. But also to not to make them feel threatened.
Yes.
Right now, men feel threatened. I want to tell you, even it is affecting the institution of marriage.
That's true.
Men are so afraid to marry because they think women have become too powerful. It cannot allow them to be the men that they want to be. So yes, you're right. We need to include men and also be able to assure them and to continue advocating for them as well as we advocate for women and show them that nothing is changing. We are only trying to help them, to help the women be better helpers to them. Because the woman is always a helper to a man. That
True.
one doesn't change.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Angelina Osege. Our time is fast spent. I will request you to make your parting shot. Yeah, talk to some young woman, young girl, some young boy, someone young out there who has a big dream of becoming maybe a leader like you have been, but they are going through some tough times.
Yeah, okay. I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I want to thank all the viewers, and I want to especially appeal to the young people, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and I want to tell you that there is nothing like competing between the boys and the girls. What is happening in the empowerment of women is to make women better women for you, to make them better helpers to you as men. And so I want to encourage the women not to think that they must depend on men to live a comfortable life. They must depend on men to be the kind of women that they ought to be. God made us the same. He gave us the same understanding. He gave us the same brain, everything the same. But what we need to do is to be partners with one another, to be helpmates. That is what God purposed for us to be. When a woman is equipped, she can be a good helpmate to the man. When a man is equipped, then he can be what he has to be as a man to the woman. So let's look at ourselves as complementing one another. So I want to encourage you, if you're in school, take it seriously, seek for excellence in whatever you do. Whether you're a wife, whether you're in the corporate world, whether you're a politician, seek for excellence. That excellence will sell you, that excellence will promote you, not your gender.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Thank you very much. We are so grateful. Thank you very much, dear viewer. In case you didn't start with us, you can go on our YouTube channel, you can go on Facebook, on Twitter. You just search for Women Rise Up. There are very many episodes that are there. You'll watch this specific one, this very one, how it started. Honorable Angelina Osege has discussed so many things with us in this show, and I think there will be, it will be very helpful for you to review this program on our social media platforms. And I like the way she ended it. She said, don't judge anyone by their gender, judge them by their ability. This show is brought to you by the Embassy of Sweden in Uganda and UN Women. I'm Yedidia Nyakahangura, your host. God bless you.